Welcome to the upcoming video games of July 2017. My name's Globku, and July doesn't seem like it's gonna be that good of a month, but personally, I think I'll be playing more games this month than I did in June. First up, That's You! I believe this is the first game that uses Sony's brand new PlayLink, trying to make gaming a bit more social and more accessible by allowing you to play with your phone on your PlayStation 4. That's You plays with your phone's camera, taking pictures that you can draw on, and has sort of a social trivia thing going on. It's the type of game you guys usually don't like too much. I think I know your guys' taste at this point, but I'm actually interested in a couple of games that have been announced for PlayLink, even if I'm not interested in this one in particular. So it will be a nice proof of concept to see if the system itself works and if it's worth being optimistic about the upcoming games. Next up, we have a Kirby game, Kirby's Blowout Blast. It's a 3D Kirby game with over 25 stages, and you do like Kirby does. Eat your enemies and spit them back out when you want to attack. You do that to gain some points, win gold stars on each stage, and just move on with your life. Fable Fortune is up next. You guys should already know Fable, and you should also know collectible card games. Well, then you already know what Fable Fortune is. It's a Fable-themed CCG with single-player, co-op, and PvP modes. You'll be able to select heroes with unique powers and cards, so you can build decks around them. It sounds a lot like Hearthstone, so if there are still any Fable fans out there, they might be into this. On the same day, we have an anime game, a cross between Axela World and Sword Art Online. The Sword Art Online characters take a break from Alfheim Online as their servers go down for maintenance, and their world collides with Axel World. This action RPG should be very familiar to those who played the previous Sword Art Online games, where you can form a party of 3 characters, this time being able to pick from both worlds and fight on the ground and on the air, progressing through an original story. The following week, Final Fantasy XII gets an HD remastered called the Zodiac Age. It's coming to PS4 and Vita with HD graphics, a newly recorded and arranged soundtrack, which includes new tracks and improved performance. Final Fantasy XII went unnoticed for a lot of people as it didn't get amazing reviews, but I kind of enjoyed it, especially the way the job system worked, which allowed you so much control over what your AI characters would do in each situation. It's a system that I often think of whenever I have AI teammates who aren't doing what they need to do. Same day, Season 2 of Minecraft's Story Mode kicks off with its first episode, Hero in Residence. The first season was about saving the world from the Wither Storm. The second season, our hero has more responsibilities and less time for adventure. Sounds like real life. However, that all changes when the hero gets stuck in a creepy gauntlet that belongs to an ancient underwater temple. Then, it's adventure time. And still on that day, Defenders of Ektron is a top-down shooter that looks kinda rough. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Black the Fall is a 2D puzzle platformer that, I'm not gonna lie, it kinda reminds me of Inside, just not as good looking, but oof, that's unfair. How can you compete with Inside? That's the best looking game of all time. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. Anyway, there seems to be a ton of scenarios, there seems to be some stealth sections, some puzzle sections. It's that kind of game, so it might be appealing to fans of Limbo and Inside, provided they don't just play those games for the visuals. I feel like I'm going a bit hard on this game's visuals. It's not like the game looks bad, it's just competing with some of the best looking games ever made. The following day, we have a wonderful surprise, The End Is Nigh, a game by Edmund Macmillan, who made Super Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac. And I think that shows in this new game. It feels very close to Super Meat Boy gameplay wise, but this time, it's not just a platformer, it's also an adventure game. There's more of a story to this one as you meet characters throughout the levels. Nevertheless, it's still a full-fledged platformer with over 600 levels, collectibles, achievements, and all you'd want out of one of those games. Next week, we have a game that has a Legend of Zelda look to it, with gameplay elements more akin to Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley. Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles, is a relaxing open-world game about discovery. Your quest is to uncover the secrets of each location while farming, crafting, cooking, fishing, and brewing. You'll also build relationships with the locals. It's very much one of those games, but with a visual style that has never been done before in this genre. 2 days later, a game that we actually already talked about on this channel, Lone Echo. This is a VR game from Ready at Dawn that takes place in zero gravity, which solves one of the biggest problems of VR, and that's movement. To move around, you simply push yourself off walls or objects in the environment, which I think is is very clever. Lone Echo has a single-player adventure mode, but also a 3v3 multiplayer mode called Echo Arena, where they give you a ball, and using the same mechanics, you try to score on your opponent's goal. Very interesting. I think they're having an open beta right now, so if you have an Oculus, go try it out. On the same day, we've got a mobile game, Laytons Mystery Journey, Catriel, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. This is coming to the 3DS later this year, but for now, you can play it on iOS and Android. Professor Layton is back with another puzzle adventure full of mystery, awesome characters, and some detective work. The following day, we probably have the biggest release of the month. Splatoon 2 keeps a lot of what made the first game great and adds some new features. Like the first game, this is mainly a multiplayer third-person shooter where your goal is to cover the map with your team's color. And to do that, you select from an array of different weapons. Some of them are new, some are returning from the first game, and power-ups, which also there are something new and some returning, like paint bombs, jetpacks, and other special abilities. But despite being a multiplayer-focused game, the single-player mode hasn't been neglected. It still has a single-player campaign where you battle through various levels. On the same day, while not exactly a new game release, I believe a lot of people will be playing Destiny 2 as it enters open beta. Even though the game will be coming to PC, if you want to play the open beta in July, you can only do it on PS4 and Xbox One. The PC open beta will be coming later. And to close out the week, Fate, Axela, the Umbral Star, which is already out on PS4 and Vita, is coming to the Nintendo Switch, bundled with all the DLC costumes for all characters for free. The following week, we have one of my personally most anticipated games of 2017. It's Pyre from Supergiant Games, the developers of Bastion and Transistor. Once again, they're making something truly unique. It's an action RPG with a story set in a fantasy setting, and the way you learn about this world seems very, very interesting. And then you also have a combat system, which is like a sports game. 3 characters, each one with their own unique traits, try to score the ball into the opponent's goal. But it's not just a random thing out of nowhere, it's a ritual that is intricately connected with the game's lore. Again, it looks like nothing I've ever seen before, and because I love these guys' previous games, I'm very much looking forward to this one as well. On the same day, there's Vaughn Colony for fans of city building games. It has sci-fi elements as you build a human city on an alien planet far away from Earth. You must build the colony from scratch, and because you're on a different planet, stuff like oxygen and food cultivation is a concern that you have to keep in mind. There are 2 main modes. One is a campaign with set missions and various objectives, and the other one is a sandbox where you just do whatever you want with no objectives. Still on the 25th, Fallen Legion Flames of Rebellion comes out. It's a JRPG with multiple choices that change the entire story. I like the artwork on this one. The fighting system looks fine, and if it truly has diverging stories, it will make you feel in control of this world, so it could be very promising. Cloudbuilt is getting a remaster called Super Cloudbuilt. It's a 3D action platformer that will test your reflexes. It's a fast game about jumping, wall running, using your jetpacks, and shooting enemies, all in perfect succession. It's a game of failing and trying again until you've mastered each and every level. The following Friday, we get a new console. Well, more or less. It's the 2DS XL. It's a big 2DS. Might be worth it if you don't have a 2DS or a 3DS platform yet. Coming out with the console, we've got Hey Pikmin. If you don't know, the Pikmin games are about controlling a whole bunch of creatures, which are called Pikmin, using a leader. Pikmin may have different colors, which change their abilities and their resistance to some environmental stuff, which then you use to solve puzzles and beat platforming sections, so you can beat all the levels. And also on that same day, we have Miitopia, which is an RPG that pulls Miis from your friends list and makes them into in-game characters. So your girlfriend could be the evil final boss. Your boss from work could be a J-pop idol. Your best friend could be, oh, who am I kidding? None of these people on a DS. And finally, releasing on a Saturday, but only in Japan, we have Dragon Quest XI. It's coming to PS4 and 3DS for now, with a Nintendo Switch date to be announced. Its gameplay remains the same as the previous games. You explore worlds and fight against monsters in a traditional turn-based battle system. And there you have it, folks, the upcoming video games of July 2017. As always, let us know in the comments which games you're playing this month, and leave us a like if you enjoyed the video. If you're looking for something to watch next, I'd personally recommend Stories of a Colorblind Gamer. Really enjoyed making that video. So just go ahead and click it. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye!